Good morning. It's a beautiful November morning here in the mountains of Virginia, and we are going to look at how to put together the Porta Coop. Now this is a 6x8 Porta Coop, but the instructions will be similar for both the 6x8 and the 10x12 model. So we'll start by going through the hardware box and just laying things out to organize our process. So first we have the cover for the coop. And then you have your wheels. We have the bungees for fastening the cover. And we have the bag of hardware. In addition, we have the wheel brackets. So let's go through the hardware first. These are the wheel cable pulleys, and we'll show you where to install those later. And this is the 10x12 kit now, so there are 4 pulleys instead of 2. So beginning with the smallest diameter bolts, we have a 5/16 bolt by 3.5 inches. So lay those out, and we will need those in a later step here. So we should have 8 of these. These are for fastening the frame together. So 8 5/16 by 3.5, and then 2 5/16 bolts for another step. And your golden bolts, keep track of those. Those are for another step. So back to the frame. So you'll have 2 long rectangular panels. Those are of course the side panels. Lay those out on the ground flat, and then you have your 2 house-shaped end panels. You can lay those out flat. And then to get started, take your smallest diameter bolts, your 5/16 by 3.5 inch bolts. Just pick up 2 panels, lift up your side panel, and lift up your end panel. And you may need some help to do this, but hold the 2 panels together, line up the bolts, the hole, and put your bolt through with the washer on it and fasten it. And let's look at the tools we will need. So your tools, you'll need a ratchet with a 1/2 inch socket and a 9/16 socket. You'll need a 1/2 inch wrench and a 9/16 inch wrench, and then some big adjustable wrenches to fasten the bolt, the axles, the big bolt for the axle. So use your 1/2 inch wrench and your 1/2 inch socket to fasten the long 5/16 bolts on the frame. 2 bolts in each corner. Those 2 bolts. So we've got these 2 panels standing now because they're bolted together. Come over to this side, raise your other side panel, put your 2 bolts in with their washers. And another note, make sure your wire netting is facing outwards on all the panels. The tubing should be facing toward the inside so that the netting is on the exterior like this. So repeat the same step with the back panel, the end gable in the back. Next you will install your ridge pole. So I'm just going to pull the cover back a bit so you can see your ridge pole. So this is the ridge pole that's in your kit. It'll just be a tube, rectangular shaped tube with this flange on the end. Take your self-tapping bolts that are in the hardware kit, and I'll grab one of these. This is your self-tapping bolt. You'll want a drill to install this. So take a drill. You don't need to pre-drill a hole. Fit the ridge pole up tight. Take a drill and just run it in, and this bolt will drill itself through the metal, will drill its own hole. So that's how that is fastened. One note on orienting the ridge pole. You'll want the ridge pole oriented, there's a loop on it. You'll want the loop hanging toward the door of the chicken coop, toward the door end, and this is for the feeder to hang on. Your next step will be to work on the wheels. So take your golden bolt that we mentioned earlier and your big 1/2-inch bolt. We'll just work here. Install your wheels. This is your wheel bracket, and this is the wheel. Take your big fat 1/2-inch bolt, install it, use it to fasten the wheel on, and use your big nut to fasten that. And do not over tighten these, just crank it down until they're snug. Okay. Now we're ready to install the wheel on the Coop. So the brackets are side specific. Install the bracket on the appropriate side by making sure the cable is hanging down from its hole. That would be so it would go on the side of the Coop and the cable would face forward and just pull smoothly on its hole. So now you will need your shorter golden bolt, that's a 3/8 bolt, and lock nut. You'll need your 9/16 ratchet and your 9/16 wrench to fasten the wheel on. Bring it up to the side of the Coop, and on the side panel you will find a bracket as part of the panel with a hole in it. Install your gold bolt and washer, and you'll need an extra hand to go inside to hold the nut. And go ahead and fasten that bolt on there, snug it up. Not too tight, but fairly snug so that the bracket can still move. Run your cable toward the front through the pulley. So we are now running the cable to the front lever. So use a 5/16 bolt to fasten the pulley here in the middle of the frame. And on the 10x12 you will have 2 of these pulleys. This is the 6x8, so we have 1 pulley. Running the cable up to the front lever, use the carabiner clip and use the included clamp and clamp the cable at the right length where it raises the Coop. Now we'll install our handle. This is the lever action handle on the end of the Coop, which raises the entire Coop up for moving it. So to install this handle, take your long 5/16 bolt, put a washer on the bolt, use the nylon washer. There are plastic washers to be used between the frame and the handle. 1 nylon washer. And then on the inside of the frame, use a steel washer and the lock nut and fasten the handle on so that it can be moved like this. Now repeat the same process with the opposite wheel, and it will now be time to install your cover. Go ahead and lay the cover out and use the bungees to fasten the cover. Some notes on the cover. Going back, you will see some of the places have a hole on the outside of the tarp and a hole on the inside of the tarp. Run your bungee through both holes and then pull the cover to the outside. When there's only a hole on the inside, only run the bungee through the inside hole. That just keeps the cover out over the edge so that the rain sheds off, and also keeps the cover tensioned properly. So that's a note on the cover. Go ahead and run your roof cover and your wall panel, which are separate covers. And that's it. We hope you enjoy your brand new Porta Coop and that your chickens enjoy a time grazing in your yard in your new Porta Coop. Thank you.